Hi everyone. My name is Michael Takashi, and as you can tell from my name, I'm obviously mixed. And if you couldn't tell that, you're probably a dumbass. Anyway, I think I'm mixed. I'm pretty sure I'm mixed. Actually, I don't think I'm mixed. I'm pretty sure I'm mixed because my name is Michael Takashi, and Michael, it's obviously an English name, and then Takashi is obviously Japanese. And the reason why I know that is because Takashi kind of sounds like sushi, and sushi's from Japan. So I must be mixed with some type of English and Japanese descent. Today I'm going to review a car with you guys. It's one of my favorite car. I really wanted a Hyundai Genesis, and I went to the Hyundai dealership, and I told the guy that I was looking for a Jenny, and I only have like $4 grand with me at the time. So the salesman couldn't sell me a Jenny that I really want, but he recommended another car. It was a 2002 Hyundai Elantra, and this thing's a freaking beast. I can show you, and I can prove to you guys that it's a freaking beast. So stay tuned here, and we'll definitely talk about all the reasons why I did what I did, and that is to buy the Hyundai Elantra. Thanks. So if you guys take a look here, this is the new whip that I just picked up. It's obviously a pretty nice whip. I got a bunch of stuff in there. I was told by the guy at the dealership that if I put a bunch of stuff in there, it will increase my horsepower. So I basically put as much stuff in there as I can. Let me show you. I put basically my keyboard in there. These chairs been sitting in my garage for a couple of years, and I figured, hey, what the hell, if the guy at the dealership told me if I put some more stuff in the back seat here, it would increase the horsepower, I figured I might as well do it. So I did it anyway. I figured, hey, what do I got to lose? And then just to kind of make my point about increasing horsepower on this, because you guys know I like to kick a lot of butt when I'm out on the street. I even stuck my car cover in here and a bunch of stuff that we've been storing in a garage. And let's see, what do I got here? I got a bunch of books in here, a Stephen King book. I don't really read, but I pretend like I do. I always put books in my house because I want people to think I'm real smart when they come over. So anyway, so as you can see, I stuffed my car full of stuff, and I was told that for every 10 pound I put in my car, I get about 5 horsepower. So that's what I did. So inside my car here, as you can see, we're right in the midst of winter, so I stuck this little baby in here in case I get stuck up in the snow. I can keep my windshield nice and clean, keep me safe out there while I'm trying to kick those V8s butts. And see, I really wanted some speed. Someone told me the best cars in the world were manual, so I went ahead and bought a manual. I know that I'm going to beat basically any V8 out there. Don't matter what car I buy, as long as it's a manual. So that's why I bought a manual. And that was actually a selling point that the guy from the dealership told me. If I bought a manual, I could pretty much beat anything from a Dodge Hellcat to a Corvette Z06, Ferrari, whatever the heck it is that I want to beat, I could pretty much beat. So that's why I bought what I bought. If you take a look here, I put all my CDs in here because, I be jamming when I roll down the street, especially in the neighborhoods. You're not really riding unless you're jamming in here. And the sound system that I got right now in this car is pretty much stock. But I don't need anything too fancy. Just something loud enough that when I go down the street, everybody can tell that I'm rocking and I'm ready to roll. And then I'll take you guys around on the other side of the car to show you. But again, here's the back here. Again, I stick as much stuff as I can back here because the guy at the dealership told me for every 10 pound I put in my car here, I could gain about 5 horsepower. So here's the driver's side. I try to keep a piece of microfiber towel in here. I was told by the guys at AutoZone that if I keep a piece of microfiber towel in here, I can use it to wipe away the dirt on my car anytime, and it's completely reusable. I don't have to rewash it or anything like that. I could just wipe the dust or the sand off my car and then just use it again the next time without ever washing it. So right here, On this side of the car, I got all of these fancy controls. They're pretty much the same controls you'll find on a spaceship or something. So these are all NASA technology, because you know everything that is made in Korea, because this is a Hyundai, is made in Korea. It's obviously NASA technology. So looking inside the vehicle here, you can see I got 133,000 miles on this, and you know, this is a used vehicle, and it supposedly lasts forever. The guy told me at the dealership that this car was supposed to get up to like maybe 450,000 miles before I start seeing issue. And I believe him, and the reason why I believe him is because when I was pulling out of the dealership, I really believe this guy, because when I was pulling out of the dealership, I figured since I got a hot whip now, I should peel out a little bit and kind of just show off a little bit. You know, the kind of things that, you know, hardcore racers do when they pull out of the dealership after they just got their new whip. So I decided to peel out on the way out of the dealership, and instantly my check engine light came on, and there were some fluids coming out of the bottom of my vehicle. I didn't know what it was, but the reason why I believe this guy is because all he did was he took it right back into the dealership. He just unplugged the battery and plugged the battery back in. The check engine light was gone. So I know these things last forever, no matter what you put them through. Engine light comes on, just reset the battery. It will solve all your problems. Forever and now on, I will never take my car back to AutoZone. When I have a check engine light, I'm just going to reset my car system by unplugging the battery, because that's what I saw this dealership man did to my car, and it worked great. And I've been driving it since I got it for a couple of days now, and no real big issue. So I'm pretty sure that I'm right on when I said just unplug your battery if you got a check engine light. So there's a dog barking at me right now, because obviously I live in a pretty nice neighborhood here, and you know, being Asian and everything, you know, sometimes the dogs are trained to bark at anything other than white folks. So yeah, it's pretty common. I'm used to it. I don't think the dog is racist. I think the dog was just trained to basically bark at anything that wasn't white. So it's probably barking at these trash can right now because it's not white, and it's probably letting go of the snow behind me here, because like I said, it is February here in Wisconsin, and I'm walking because I got to pick up my daughter right now from school before I get back to review the car. Last time I forgot about my daughter. She walked all the way home, and the next day my wife yelled at me and took away my privilege to make videos. So that's why I haven't made a video in such a long time, but I just decided today to do it, and so I hope that you guys enjoy it. Okay, my daughter just got back here. I'll give you guys a view. So my daughter's coming out right now. She's waving at me, and I gotta go because I gotta keep her safe. Give me a second. All right, so I'm real sorry. I know it's getting kind of dark right now, because what happened was, you know, my phone died, and you know, I don't have the right equipment, so we had to go inside and charge my phone for the last 45 minutes. And as you can see, it's getting kind of dark out here. But what I was gonna say is, I was gonna talk about these tires right here. So I want to talk through this a little bit. See, these here, when we make them in Korea, you know, we only have 4 lug nuts. And the reason why we only have 4 lug nuts is because that's all you need. You don't really need anything more than that. I see all of these V8s and V10s with, you know, more than 4 lug nuts, and I can tell you that's just an extra waste of space and weight that you don't need. Like I said, if it's not made in Korea, it wasn't made right. So anyway, here, as you can see here, these tires are pretty used. I'm not going to talk too much about them, because like I said, all they really do is they just put the force from the engine to the ground. And I know that because I'm like kind of like a degreed engineer, so you got to trust me. I know what I'm talking about. And these tires are a little bit flat right now, and they're flatter than they're supposed to be. I read somewhere that if you keep them too flat, they could cause all kinds of trouble. But I also heard that it improves traction, so I said, fuck it, I would just make it flat so that I can get some traction when I'm trying to rip those V8s head apart. All right, so right here we're at the front of my car. I really want to talk to through this part here because the lines on my hood here, obviously these were made for aerodynamic. I'm pretty sure these things were made and designed in mind that people were going to supercharge or turbocharge these things. So that's why the hood raised a little bit here, as you can see on this profile here, so that you could put a big ass turbo in there if you ever want to. So if you look at the front of the hood here, it's a pretty cool hood, pretty aerodynamic design. You see these vents here, basically suck in cold air on Muscle versus Tuner. He was reviewing a Japanese car. I believe it was a Nissan GTR that he was reviewing, and he was talking about how the car had the ability to basically suck American air in, convert it into JDM air, and that's what the car go off on. Similar design here on my Hyundai. Basically, the dealership told me that the front of my engine here, the front of my bumper here, basically suck in all of the hot air because you know how in America here we only have hot air, and it converts all of the hot air into not JDM but into a South Korea air, and then fed into the engine to give it that extra boost it needs to function. So that's pretty much the front of my car design. Alright, here, so I'm finally at the front of the wheel. I already talked about one of the other wheels, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But what I did forgot to talk about was the brake system on this thing. I don't have any Brembo brakes or anything like that on this because, like I said, you know, these wheels here are only made to basically put power to the ground, and it does that pretty good. Like I said, I keep it pretty flat. You see right here in my brake calipers here, it's starting to rust. I was told that the rust was a sign that, you know, it was working, and that if it wasn't rusting, it wasn't working. So the other day when I was looking at the Hyundai Genesis, they had a brand new one on their showroom floor, and I noticed that it wasn't rusting, so that one must have not been working correctly. Anyway, again, 4 lug nuts, just like the rear wheel. Again, there's no need for more than 4 lug nuts. Anything more than that is just a waste of space, and I keep it. The Koreans designed it this way for weight reduction. So thanks for watching my videos. I'm gonna get in my car now. I'm all hyped up for making all this video and bullshit talking about these V8s and V10. I'm gonna go out on the road and find me a V10 showing what this Korean made car 2.4 or whatever it is, V4 cylinder I got up in here, and show everybody how this car really works. Catch y'all later. Alright, so I just got back from, you know, ripping up all of these V8s and V10s out on the street here, and something weird happened. You know, you guys remember how I said the guy at the dealership told me that basically these things are indestructible? Yeah, well, they were kind of indestructible. You know, I kept my tires kind of flat, like I mentioned earlier, and I went over a bump, and I think I might have popped one of my tires. So I pull over to the side of the road. I took a look at it, and then instantly I remember the last time I had any type of problem at all with my car. The car dealership guy basically unplugged the battery and plugged it back in. So what I did was, right off the side of the road, you know, another guy pulled up. He came up to me and he said, "Sir, did you need any help?" And I said, "Well, not really, but I think I know what I'm doing." And he said, "Well, it looks like you have a flat tire." I said, "Look, man, I don't need your advice. I know what I'm doing. This is my car." It's pretty obvious because, like I said, I'm a degreed engineer, so I obviously know what I'm talking about. And then so I went to the back of my car. I pumped my trunk, and he said, "What are you doing? Are you trying to get yourself a jack so you can lift this thing up?" I said, "No, hell no. I ain't getting no jack. I'm pumping my trunk so I can pull my gloves out. It's pretty damn cold out here. I'm trying to pop my hood so that I could unplug my battery." And then he went on and looked at me like I was kind of dumb, and tried to tell me and trying to talk to me about how unplugging my battery won't do anything for my tire. And at that point I got real mad. I looked over, and this, like I expected, this sucker was driving a freaking V8. It was the freaking Chevrolet truck. and I told him to bug off. And then after giving him a nasty stare, he walked away. And then so I unplugged my battery and plugged it back in, but it didn't do the job. So finally I got fed up and I just called my wife, and she came and picked me up, and we had to call the tow truck to tow my car back home. So tomorrow I'm going to go back to the dealership and try to figure out exactly what's going on, because I think I didn't unplug my battery in the correct order to make sure my tires inflate again. So maybe I'll talk to the salesman tomorrow about it, and he'll show me and take care of me, because I know these salesmen are always honest, and they will never lie to me. So I'm pretty honest. I'll catch you guys later, and I'll give you guys an update on what exactly happened to my vehicle right after I talk to the salesman. So best of luck for me. I'll catch you guys later.